All right, greetings to everybody. Once again, Brian at your service. Okay, I've done this before, so ain't nothing wrong with doing it again. All right, this is entitled S.O.S. of Significant Distress. S.O.S. of Significant Distress. Okay, and S.O.S. is an urgent appeal for help, right? So that's why this is called S.O.S. So what's the significant distress? Well, you're about to learn today. All right, so we have to let the past be the past, right? To a certain extent. We can't forget the past. We must learn from the past, and we must study the past, which we know as history, right? Why must we study history? So, any history teacher can tell you this, so that history won't repeat itself, right? Any history teacher can tell you that, or any person can tell you that, right? That's our whole sole purpose for studying history, okay? So we study history so we won't repeat the same mistakes that were made in the past, right? And by means of mistakes made, we're talking about mistakes, right? Mistakes where we have missed the mark, right? Where we have been off somewhere where we've had to do take two, right? Take three, so on and so on, right? Okay, so since we know about history and what history is and why we study history, let's talk briefly about the history of healthcare, the history of home healthcare, okay? So what is home healthcare? Where home healthcare, also known as in-home care, is the providing of assistance and support to individuals that require help with daily activities or semi-weekly activities in the comfort of their own home. And that's the key word right there, the comfort in their own home. There's nothing like having comfort in your own home, because there's nothing like being comfortable in your own home, okay? Needing healthcare is one thing, but receiving comfortable healthcare is something else, and receiving comfortable healthcare in your home is something else too. Combine them all together, you got you a nice, thick, tasty milkshake. You know, you got everything that you wanted all combined in one, all right? So, what was the past home healthcare model? Okay, in history, families and communities were responsible for the care of their elderly. However, society is far removed from this model in this present age. If you can go back even 20 years, 2 decades, you would see, especially in other cultures. Now, I'm speaking from a North American point of view, right? Because that's what I was born and raised in. I've studied other cultures. But even speaking in North America, you go back 20 years time back, people did a much better job caring for their elderly than they do today, okay? Each decade, it just gets worse and worse. Worse and worse because people care less and less about the elderly, right? So societal changes along with societal values has changed the look of home health care, and definitely not in a good way, okay? I'm a researcher, and upon doing research, okay, according to a Yale study, we, especially here once again in North America, we look at our seniors as burdens instead of blessings. Other places around the world, they look at their elders as blessings, right? We're not caught up on elder worship. We don't do that around here, all right? Where they do that at? Not around here, right? So I'm not talking about worshiping our elders. Caring for our elders and worshiping our elders is two totally different things, right? Here in North America, sadly, we put a lot of emphasis on elder worship, right, than we do on elder care. We're not even concerned about our elders until they're dead and gone. Then when they're dead and gone, we want to make shrines and, worship them and ask them to bless our prayers and hear our prayers and things like that. What about giving somebody their flowers while they're alive? That's what we need to be doing for our elders. They need their flowers. They deserve their flowers. They've earned their flowers. But here in North America, we're not giving it to them. All right? So moving on. Seniors have contributed so much to society. However, what is society willing to contribute to them? They have given, but what are we willing to give back to them? Absolutely nothing, because we don't see them as recipients of blessings. We don't see them themselves as blessings. Instead, we see them as burdens. We feel that we don't owe them anything. All right? We don't owe anybody anything. But the Bible does say, owe one another nothing but love. We're not giving love. You can't give love to somebody that you feel is a burden to you, right? They done changed your funky diapers and their grandchildren's diapers, your children's diapers, right? But then you got a problem changing theirs. You got a problem talking about how bad they smell. When we forget, when we were infants, it needed to be changed, needed to be cared for. They were there for us. When we put our kids, their grandkids off on them and went out to do what we wanted to do, we forgot about how many diapers they changed and what care they gave to their grandkids, which were our children, right? So let us move on, okay? Why? Why is it important to care for our seniors? Well, one answer out of many is family function. Those two words, beautifully put together, family function. Well, what do you mean about family function? What do you mean by family function? Okay. The Flintstones were set in prehistoric times and they functioned as a family. The Jetsons were set in futuristic times and they functioned as a family. The Evans family were impoverished in Chicago, Illinois, and they functioned as a family. The Huxtables family were well off in Brooklyn, and they functioned as a family. Very important to function as a family. Very important for family function, something that has been lost. Family function now, people think that that's just lost in the ages. It should not be. It was set up to where we're supposed to operate under family function. How do I know that we're supposed to operate under family function? Well, plain and simple, it's written, right? The Son obeyed the Father, right? The Father sent the Son. The Son sent the Spirit into the world. The Son had to go back to the Father for the Spirit to be sent into the world. That's family function. That's an example of family, all right? So one of the most important things for a family is values transmission. Values transmission. Values transmission. Okay? If someone is not brought up under family values, then you will have no self-value. And an individual with no self-value is without purpose. And being without purpose, you will eventually become a societal menace. If you don't have a place in society, if you don't know your purpose in society, your purpose, your mission, the reason why you are here, you're going to become a menace. You're going to become a menace. I don't care how well you were raised, because evidently you wasn't raised right if you don't have any societal values, right? If you don't have any values transmission. Evidently you wasn't raised the right way, or if you was raised the right way, you chose to step away from that. You chose to step away what you were actually raised in, okay? All traditions, especially family traditions, are not bad traditions. It's only a bad tradition if it goes contrary to the word of the Most High. If it's not contrary to the word of the Most High, then it's not a bad tradition, okay? Many of our parents and grandparents taught us certain things, instilled certain things in us because they wanted us to be better. They wanted us to do better. Nothing wrong with that, okay? But if you just lose sight of who you are and what your purpose is, you're going to be a menace, all right? You're going to be a menace to somebody. You're going to be a menace in society, okay? So the next why is, why must we be aware of this situation and start to prepare and repair now? That's the key. Why must we start to prepare and repair now? Okay, number one, baby boomers, those born between 1946 and 1964. If you notice, if you turn 1946 around, you have 1964. If you turn 1964 around, you have 1946. Something that's very interesting when I was doing my research, right? So the baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964, right, will grow to the largest population in history by the year of 2034. That's just 10 years from now. 10 years from now. 10 years goes so fast. People told me way back when I had my first child that when you blink your eyes, she's going to be a teenager. You blink your eyes again, she's going to be grown. They wasn't lying. That's exactly what happened. That's how fast 10 years goes by. That's how fast a decade flies by. Here it is, I'm 55 years young, but I blink my eyes and I vaguely remember, the things I did and what I was doing at the age of 45. That's how fast a decade, 10 years flies by. All right. So number 2, those seniors' families will not have the adequate means or motivation to properly care for them. Right? They won't be motivated, number 1, and then they won't have the proper training. So you're definitely going to be in trouble. Anytime you're unprepared for anything, whether it's war, whether it's a pandemic, whether it's an epidemic, whether it's pestilence, whatever the case might be, whether it's a change in the law, whether it's a change in legislation, right? Whether it's a change in the economy, if you know it's coming, but you're not properly prepared for it, you're going to be 2 things. Either number 1, you're not going to survive, you're going to be annihilated, right? You're going to fail, you're going to fall hard. Or number 2, if you're not properly prepared, you're going to be deceived. And deception is a very, very bad thing. Very bad thing. That's subject for another topic, another video. Okay, let us move on. Okay. Number 3, there will not be enough home healthcare workers willing to fill the role of a home healthcare worker due to low hourly wages. There are people complaining already about the hourly wage. Hello, I know for myself. I'm going to make another video about that. Home healthcare workers are not paid nowhere near as they should be. Okay? It might seem like an easy job, but it is not. If you really care and your heart is into it, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of effort. Okay? It takes a lot, right? But if they're not adequately, willing to pay people to fulfill this role, that's something that nobody's going to want to do, right? If it's something that nobody wants to do because of one of the means being inadequate pay where they can't survive off of that salary, then we're really in trouble, because then the whole thing is going to implode on itself. You have all these seniors, but no one, including their own family members, willing to care for them. That's definitely a bad thing. All right. And number 4, there will not be enough LTCs, which is long-term care facilities, to provide residency for seniors. There's no way from now, the year of 2024 to the year of 2034, to have enough people, enough space to build all the LTCs that's going to be needed for seniors. So the answer is they're going to want to be in their homes. Not only are they going to want to be in their homes, they're going to need to be in their homes. Okay, right now I'm in my home. Okay, this is not where I'm going to permanently be. This is where I'm at for now. But where I'm going to be at in 10 years, I don't want nobody telling me I got to move and I got to move into an LTC where I have to have people care for me, and I have to have people tell me when I can go to bed, what I can watch on TV, when I can wake up. I can only eat what they put before me to eat. No, that's not happening. So if I don't want that to happen to me, I don't want to see that happen to anybody else. Nobody else will want to go through that, right? If you're not willing to drink dirty, muddy water, why would you sit back and let somebody else drink dirty, muddy water? Unless it would take you having to drink that same muddy, dirty water for you to see, okay, now I can relate. All right? So, important note. Okay? I'm going to talk about this in a minute. But y'all be prepared for the next video. If anyone had to catch a tiger by the tail, would you catch the tiger as a cub, or would you wait until the tiger is fully grown? Obviously, if we had to catch a tiger by the tail, we would catch that tiger as a cub, as just a little baby. It can still do some damage to you, but it can't do as much damage as an adult tiger could, right? So if we can catch this right now, while this is in its infancy, and we have a solution, right? The Most High, the Creator, is using me, one of many, for a solution to this problem. Let's grab this tiger by the tail now while it's a baby. Okay, let's take the little baby bites. Let's take the baby scratches. Let's take that now. Because when it's fully grown, you ain't going to be able to catch that thing by the tail. You ain't gonna be able to catch you by the tail and live. I can tell you that much. You'll be unalive. You know, you could try if you want to, right? So let's jump on this right now. I need help with this though. Myself and my team, Age Not Cage, this is what we have been sent on a godly mission to do. This is what we are here for. One of the things we are here for is to take care of this. All right? So stay tuned. I'm going to come back to part 2 of this, S.O.S. of significant distress. All right? Part 2 coming up. Y'all be blessed. Peace.